Hello YouTubers, this is 777 Die Hard Forever coming at you with another highly anticipated and highly recommended model as I continue to play catch up. Today I'll be doing a review on a JC Wings British Airways Boeing 767-300ER in their commemorative final farewell Boeing 767 flight in the Union Jack livery scheme in a 1/200 scale model. I purchased this model from Waffle Collectibles, and their website address is www.wafflecollectibles.com. But first, before I go into details about this particular commemorative aircraft model, please allow me to share some information about the history of British Airways and how they came about, if you would please. British Airways is a British-based airline whose actual history beginnings can actually be traced back to August 25th, 1919, when it was formed as well as originated from a small airline company called Aircraft Transport and Travel Limited. And after a series of mergers with different as well as various airline carriers, it was formed under the name of Imperial Airways on March 31st, 1924, then merged with another British-based airline carrier that ended up forming under the name of BOAC, British Overseas Airways Corporation, on November 24, 1939, then merged with another airline called BEA, British European Airways, on January 1st, 1946, and operated under the BOAC, the British Overseas Airways Corporation umbrella, until September 1st, 1972, and that's when the British Airways Group was eventually established after the passage of the Civil Aviation Act of 1971 was passed, which also formed the British Airways Board, which resulted in the merger of the BOAC, the British Overseas Airways Corporation, and BEA, British European Airways, consolidating into one big airline carrier, as the consolidated airline was officially established on March 31st, 1974, and officially commenced operation by the dissolution of BOAC, British Overseas Airways Corporation, and BEA, British European Airways, to become the airline which is known to the world today as British Airways, as the British-based carrier celebrated their centennial anniversary on August 25th, 2019. Whereas the headquarters of British Airways is located in the Waterside Building, which is located in the Harmondsworth section of London, England, which is a village located in the borough of Hillingdon, that's located northwest of Heathrow Airport, while the airline's main hub and base of operations is located on the grounds of London Heathrow Airport, which is located approximately 14 miles west of the Central District section of London, England, and also has a major presence at Gatwick Airport, which is located approximately 30 miles south of the Central District section of London, England, that's located in the London suburb of Crawley, England. British Airways is the national flag carrier airline of the United Kingdom, as well as the largest operating airline in the United Kingdom in terms of international flights as well as international destinations served. However, based on fleet size and based on the number of passengers carried, it is the second largest carrier in the United Kingdom after EasyJet. As of January 2022, or at the time of this video review posting, British Airways currently flies to 183 destinations worldwide across 6 inhabited continents, as British Airways is currently one of 10 airlines to own this actual distinction of permanently flying to all 6 inhabited continents, along with Air Canada, Air China, Delta Airlines, Emirates, Korean Air, Qantas, Qatar Airways, South African Airways, and United Airlines respectively, with an operating fleet of 254 aircraft with no unfulfilled orders pending on this particular aircraft type, as this aircraft is no longer operating in the British Airways fleet at the time of this video review posting. Also, as of January 2022, or at the time of this video review posting, British Airways is one of 59 airlines in the world of aviation that currently operates as a certified 4-star airline carrier, according to the international airline review firm Skytrax Magazine, and the Boeing customer code for British Airways for this particular aircraft was 36. Alright everyone, let's take a look at the front of the box here, and what you're looking at is the aircraft type here at the top, and then you see the British Airways logo, the British Airways title, and then there's 2 versions right there. Then there's the Boeing official license product decal, as well as the 1/200 scale die-cast aircraft model information you see at the front of the box. Alright, now you're looking at the back of the box, and what you see is the British Airways logo, the British Airways billboard title, the both versions of the aircraft here, as well as the width and the length of the aircraft, as well as the aircraft type, the specification concerning this aircraft type, as well as the warning information. You can pause and read that information if you like, which I find very informative, but at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and keep this moving, alright? Alright, now you're looking at the top of the box. What you see is the aircraft type, the British Airways logo, as well as the British Airways billboard title, as well as the 1/200 scale diecast aircraft model information you see at the top of the box. Alright, now you're looking at the bottom of the box. Pretty much the same information at the top of the box. However, there are two versions on here. Registration ship number G-BZHC, and then there's the second one, G-BNWC. The one you see checked there, registration ship number G-BZHC, that's the one I'm going to do the review on, okay? Now you're looking at the top phone of the packaging, which is protect the model, and all the accessories came with the model, what you see here. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off and let you see what's inside of the packaging. Let's check it out. Alright, after I took the top part of the phone, the protection and all that stuff, this is what you see right here, the actual aircraft model, as well as the model stand right there. Since there's no gear replacement doors, we're just going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and take all this out, and we're going to get on with the review, okay? Alright, with all that information out of the way about the history of British Airways and how they came about and still operating strong despite what's going on around us, which is pretty awesome. Plus here the front of the box, the two versions, as well as the information at the back of the box, plus the packaging, you know, that protect the model and the model stand, as well as the actual model and the model stand inside the packaging. So with no further ado, everyone, here is the model out of the packaging box. Let's check it out. There it is, everyone, the J.C. Wings British Airways Boeing 767-300ER. In their Union Jack livery scheme, the commemorative final farewell 767 flight. So I'm getting ready to get into that information right now, as you allow me to share you some information about the British Airways Boeing 767-300ER, the commemorative final farewell Boeing 767 flight. Here we go. The relationship between British Airways and the Boeing 767-300ER dates back to February 8, 1990. And that's when British Airways took delivery of their first Boeing 767-300ER extended range jetliner aircraft, which bears the registration ship number G-BNWC, and took delivery of their last Boeing 767-300ER extended range jetliner aircraft that bears the registration ship number G-BZHC on June 29, 1998. As British Airways previously at one time registered and operated as many as 28 of these iconic jetliners in their fleet, as this aircraft was primarily utilized on routes throughout Europe, Africa, the Middle East, the Caribbean, as well as North America during its 28 years of operating in the British Airways fleet. But unfortunately, on August 1st, 2018, British Airways officially announced that it would retire their Boeing 767-300ER extended range jetliner aircraft from its fleet, as British Airways officially flew its last Boeing 767 revenue service flight, which was actually dubbed as the final farewell Boeing 767 flight, when it flew from London Heathrow Airport in London, England, to Larnaca, Cyprus, and back to London Heathrow as British Airways Flight 662 and 663 respectively on November 25, 2018, which signaled the end of an era of British Airways flying the Boeing 767-300ER extended range jetliner aircraft. And after 28 years of serving the British Airways fleet as one of the airline's official flagship jetlines for the London-based carrier, which included the Boeing 767-200 variant, the British Airways Boeing 767-300ER extended range jetliner aircraft officially flew off into the aviation sunset, as this particular aircraft has since been replaced with the Airbus A321neo new engine option, which entered the British Airways fleet in 2019, as well as the Boeing 787 Dreamliner variants, which includes the Boeing 787-8, which entered the carrier's fleet in 2013, the the Boeing 787-9, which entered the carriage fleet in 2015, and the Boeing 787-10 that entered the carriage fleet in 2020, respectively. Now let's talk about the livery scheme on this aircraft. Very iconic. This is the current livery scheme of British Airways, which was unveiled along with its brand new corporate identity back on June 10, 1997, which has become known as the Chatham Dockyard / Union Jack livery scheme, as the name of the livery scheme actually takes its name from the historic dockyard Chatham, Kent, as the tail fin of the aircraft actually bears a red, white, and blue interpretation of the Union Jack flag, which is actually the official name of the national flag for the United Kingdom, that was actually based on the original flag that was used by the late English naval commander Lord Nelson. And the first aircraft that actually began sporting this livery scheme was a British Airways Concorde supersonic transport, which bared the registration ship number G-BOAB, as this iconic livery scheme was developed and created by the British design consultancy firm of Newell and Sorrell. So, with all this information out of the way about this aircraft as well as the livery you see on this aircraft, let us get down to the nitty-gritty and allow me to show you all the details on this aircraft model. Shall we? Let us begin. Alright, we're going to start at the front of the aircraft here on the port side left side, where you see the front nose landing gears right here, the landing gear struts, the landing gear door featuring the partial registration ship number on that nose gear door, ZHA. Then you see the pitot tubes and the static port, the radar nose cone, the windshield wipers, as well as the cockpit window. I'm going to give you a better view of those details later on in the review. Please stay tuned for that part. But you see the British Airways ribbon logo that sits next to the British Airways titles right here. There. The British Airways ribbon logo was designed by Newell and Sorrell in 1997, which actually symbolizes a distant echo of the Speedbird symbol that was first used by Imperial Airways in 1932, and then by the BOAC, the British Overseas Airways Corporation. And then now you're talking about the One World logo displayed by the L1 entrance door, which is this little logo right here. Yeah. British Airways joined the One World Alliance along with American Airlines, Cathay Pacific, and Qantas as one of the 4 founding members on February 1st, 1999, which consists of 13 airline members from 6 inhabited continents. Alright, next you see the British Airways billboard tile right there, and then you see the coat of arms logo, which is this right here. This particular logo is actually called the coat of arms logo, as this logo can be visibly seen on the side of the fuselage of every British Airways aircraft flying today, as the coat of arms logo also displays British Airways' true commitment to providing great customer service to every passenger, as this has been the main mission objective for British Airways since the airline's inception. Also inside of the lower part of the coat of arms logo features a motto that British Airways always go by. It is actually called "To Fly, to Serve." It used to be right in there somewhere. I don't want to bring it up too close because it might blur up the vision, but it's in there somewhere. It's in there, trust me. Okay? Alright, we're looking at the center of the aircraft, and underneath the wings you see the landing bogey gears here, featuring the landing gear struts as well as the landing gear doors. And more importantly, looking at these big massive engines here, right here. And these are the Rolls-Royce RB211-524H turbofan type engines that was used on this particular British Airways Boeing 767-300ER extended range jetliner aircraft. You also see the Rolls-Royce logo here on the engine column there as well. Now we're going to turn this aircraft model around. We're going to finally do the actual turbofan blades to spin. Let's find out. Alright, now you're looking at the front of the engines here on the port / left side of the aircraft, and then we're going to see if the turbofan blades spin. Oh yes, they do. Awesome. And then you see the inboard landing light right there, as well as the front visual view of the landing bogey gears here on this side of the aircraft, featuring the landing gear strut, as well as the actual landing gear doors. Now you're looking at the front of the engines here on the starboard side, and we're going to see if they spin over here as well. Yes, they do. Awesome. Okay, and then there's the inboard landing light there, as well as the front visual view of the landing bogey gears here on the side of the aircraft. Feature the landing gear struts, as well as the actual landing gear doors. Alright, now you're looking at the front of the aircraft, where you got a better visual view of the cockpit windows, the windshield wipers, and then you see the partial registration ship number above the cockpit windows, which is ZHA. And then you see the radar nose cone, and then you see the nose gear doors, the landing gear lights inside of the nose gear doors, the landing gear struts, as well as the front visual view of the front nose landing gears. Alright, now you're looking at the edge of the wingtip on this aircraft, featuring the red navigation light displayed right there on the edge of the wingtip. Alright, now you're looking at the back of the aircraft here on the port side, and you see this little door right here. That's the AFT boat bin door. And then you see the Royal Mail logo displayed right here. And Royal Mail is the primary postal service company in the United Kingdom that's been in business since 1516, as British Airways uses this service to transfer their mail and parcel around the world. Okay? And then you look at the registration ship numbers next to the Royal Mail logo, which is registration ship number G-BZHC, which is this one right here. Registration ship number G-BZHC. This aircraft was actually the 26th British Airways Boeing 767-300ER extended range jetliner aircraft out of the 28 Boeing 767-300ERs that actually entered the British Airways fleet. And the first test flight on this aircraft took place on May 14, 1998, and was delivered to British Airways on May 22, 1998. This aircraft was also the actual aircraft that had the honor of flying the British Airways commemorative final farewell Boeing 767 flight when it flew from London Heathrow to Larnaca, Cyprus, and back to London Heathrow on November 25, 2018, as this aircraft was also the very last Boeing 767-300ER extended range jetliner aircraft that exited the British Airways fleet, then was flown to the MOD St. Athan Airfield Aircraft Storage Facility in St. Athan, Wales on the very next day of November 26, 2018, where this aircraft remained stored up at until it was eventually scrapped in July 2019. Alright, now you're looking at the tail fin of the aircraft. What you see is the Chatham Dockyard / Union Jack livery scheme, which is displayed on the tail fin of the aircraft, which is this little scheme right here you see here. Since the airline's formation in 1974, British Airways sported a Union Jack livery scheme painted on their tail fin up until 1984, when it was changed to the Landor livery scheme and was changed back to the Union Jack livery scheme in 1999, as the livery of the tail fin of the aircraft resembles a section of the British Union flag. Okay? Alright, now you're looking at the Apu Exhaust Hole, auxiliary power unit exhaust hole, and there is a hole there, see there? Impressive, as well as the entire aircraft from the rear view angle. Let's check it out. There it is, everyone. The British Airways Boeing 767-300ER extended range jetliner aircraft and their Chatham Dockyard Union Jack livery scheme from the rear view angle. Alright, now you're looking at the front of the aircraft here on the starboard side, where you see the front nose landing gears right here, the landing gear struts, the landing gear door featuring the partial registration ship number on that nose gear door, ZHA. You see the pitot tubes and the static port, the radar nose cone, the windshield wipers, the cockpit windows, the British Airways ribbon logo, the British Airways title, the front cargo container loading door, the coat of arms logo, as well as the inboard landing light you see on the edge of the wing. You see displayed there as well. Alright, now you're looking at the Rolls-Royce RB211-524H turbofan type engines here on the starboard side, featuring the Rolls-Royce logo you see displayed there, as well as the landing bogey gears here on this side of the aircraft, features the landing gear struts, as well as the actual landing gear doors. Alright, now you're looking at the edge of the wingtip on this side of the aircraft, featuring the green navigation light you see displayed there on the edge of the wingtip. Alright, now you're looking at the back of the aircraft here on the starboard side, where you see the rear cargo container loading door, the registration ship number, as well as the Chatham Dockyard Union Jack livery scheme displayed on the tail fin of the aircraft here, as well as the partial registration ship number displayed there on the top of the tail fin there as well. Okay, before I show you the aerial bird's eye view of this aircraft model, as well as the undercarriage belly view of this aircraft model in full detail, allow me to let you check out one feature, which is the rolling gears. So we're going to check that out right now. Yeah, they roll alright. It does tilt a little bit. Front nose gear swivels there as well, but you got to be careful with these gears as usual though, because they'll break off. But all that is all good, so with no further ado, allow me to show you this aircraft model from the aerial bird's eye view. Let's check it out. Alright, now you're looking at this aircraft from the aerial bird's eye view. We're going to start at the front where you see the radome nose cone, the windshield wipers, the cockpit window, the partial registration ship number on top of the cockpit windows, ZHA. And then you see a couple of emergency escape hatch doors right there, the anti-collision beacon light, a high frequency antenna, a couple more emergency escape hatch doors, the ADF antennas in 3D, more high frequency antennas, a couple more emergency escape hatch doors right there. Then there's the vertical stabilizer, the tail fin, as well as the horizontal stabilizer right here. See the two little black dots right there, as well as over here as well. Those black dots, everyone, are actually called the illuminated lights, and the sole purpose of these illuminated lights is to light up this tail here when they're used to fly during nighttime. Now let's check out the wings and the engine. No wing walkway, then there's the engine right there, as well as the flaps, slats, aileron spoilers, what have you, fuel dump valve, as well as the edge of the wingtip. Let's check over here. The engine there, no wing walkway, but you got the flaps, slats, aileron spoilers, what have you. And then there's the fuel dump valve and the edge of the wingtip on the side as well. Alright, now you're looking at the undercarriage belly view of this aircraft, which is mostly blue. We're going to start at the front, where the part of it is white, the radome nose cone, everything else is blue from that part on. Then you see the crew escape hatch door, the nose gear door, as well as the front nose gear. And then you slide up this way. The anti-collision beacon light you see there, the hole where the stand goes in it, the model stand goes in it. And then you see a couple high frequency antennas, and there's a pressure relief valve, and then there's the tail skid bumper right there. The sole purpose of that tail skid bumper is to prevent the aircraft from being damaged when it takes off or lands in a ascend or in a descending position. And then you see the APU housing doors, and then there's the horizontal stabilizers underneath. Now let's check out the gears right here. Tilt a little bit. See the engines right there, as well as the wings underneath. You got the flaps, slats, aileron spoilers, registration ship number, fuel dump valve, as well as the edge of the wingtip. Let's check out over here. Having a little problem tilting, but that's all right. See the engine there, as well as the wings underneath. There's the flaps, slats, aileron spoilers, what have you. Fuel dump valve, as well as the edge of the wingtip on this side of the aircraft as well. Alright, since I showed you the aerial bird's eye view of this aircraft model, as well as the undercarriage belly view of this aircraft model in full detail, now I'm going to put it on this nice little metal model stand that actually came with it. See the bottom of it right there, you see the British Airways ribbon logo, the British Airways title, the aircraft type, as well as the scale model information. And then you right here the black patent, folks. The sole purpose of that black patent is not only a protection model, it also prevents from being damaged or scratched when you put your aircraft model on this particular model stand. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and put this model on the stand. Let's check it out. Alright, finally got this model on the stand, no problem, no hesitating. As you see it being displayed in a takeoff landing position, being viewed from the port side of the aircraft. Alright, now you're looking at the model being displayed on the stand in the takeoff landing position that's being viewed from the front view angle. Now you're looking at this model being viewed in the takeoff landing position with the model displayed on the stand being viewed from the starboard side of the aircraft. And finally, you see this model being displayed on the stand being viewed from the takeoff landing position being viewed from the tail cam angle. And since there's no gear replacements for this particular model, I'm going to go ahead and take this model stand and go ahead and wrap up this model review, alright? Alright, let's talk about the seating configuration. British Airways have 5 seating configured cabin versions that they actually use on their Boeing 767-300ER extended range jetliner aircraft. However, on this particular British Airways Boeing 767-300ER extended range jetliner aircraft, it seated 259 passengers in a single configured cabin layout. Here's the breakdown, everyone, from rows 1 to 41, which will be from here all the way back to the rear of the aircraft. You had 259 standard economy class seats, which brought a total of 259 seats. And finally, British Airways previously utilized this aircraft on routes from London Heathrow and London Gatwick airports, respectively, to destinations throughout Europe, Africa, the Middle East, the Caribbean, as well as North America during its 28 years of serving the British Airways fleet. Well, everyone, this will conclude this model review. I'd like to know if you plan on getting this model or the other one. I do got the Landor livery one and from in-flight models that I'll be showing later on this year. But if you can get this model, I highly recommend it because it's definitely hard to get right now. Your only outside chance of getting this model right now is on eBay, if you can find it there. So with that said, please take care. God bless. Stay safe. Stay tuned. There's more model content coming. Peace.